If you're a lender in the Phoenix area and you're creating community, you're going to want to listen to this podcast.
So we just actually came out of a mastermind here in where sunny San Diego.
Yes.
Amazing weather. And what we learned was that a lot of times when we come into these rooms with amazing people, there's an energy distribution that happens in exchange. But the coolest thing about being in rooms is not necessarily the speaker on stage, but it's the relationships that you can create with the people next to you. And that's why we're all sitting here, because there was something about the relationship and the energy that we were interested in. So you're starting to do this in Phoenix. So you're taking this amazing idea of a mastermind and putting it in Phoenix specifically for lenders. So tell me about that idea.
I want to help loan officers grow. I want them to have peace of mind, and I want them to be able to scale without being the one doing everything.
That's pretty amazing. So you're a real estate agent.
I'm a real estate agent at Scottsdale. Yeah.
So getting a room with a bunch of lenders
That are hungry.
Yeah, they're thirsty. You're in a room of secret thirsty. Exactly. So why would you do this?
Because here's the thing. I know as a real estate agent, we prospect and we work hard and we do all the things. But lenders, do you know how many calls I get from lenders saying, hey, can we go to coffee? Hey, you've done a lot of production. Can I talk to you? Do you know how obnoxious it is to get those phone calls all the time? And look, no shame, no shade. I know I'm speaking and you guys are like, you guys are like, did you really just say that? Yes, I did, because there's so many different ways to market to a real estate agent that if you're struggling and you need to get business because your production is down because our market is hard right now and we have to work, dialing for dollars doesn't always work. You have to bring value.
You got to bring value. So everybody thinks, right, that the way to bring, man, I hate this answer. So if I've been like kind of around a room with someone like you, it's a real estate agent, and every now and again, I'll just say like, what is it going to take for us to do some deals together?
Right.
And they're like, well, send me a deal.
No.
Right. They always say it, send me a deal. And I think there's a different way to add value, right? And there's a framework to it. So if you think about, like, if you can get in a room and ask a real estate agent what it would take to get their business and have a framework on how to do it, would that be something that you would want to get in a room with other loan officers, not only to hear what they're saying, but also to hear what a realtor's saying and from their perspective? And how often do you get a chance to do this? So that's what this mastermind is going to be about.
Yeah,
is it really giving you the frameworks to do that?
Like, I do marketing. Like, that's what I do for small businesses, for realtors, for lenders. And I want to help people and show them the way, as bad as that sounds, lead them.
Well, but from my perspective, you and I, we haven't had a lot of chance to talk, but like we were in probably a 30-second exchange today or yesterday in this mastermind. And you had to understand this. We're in a mastermind of 125 people or something like that. And there's so many people talking, and we were talking briefly, and you said that you had this property coming up, and you said it was a high value property,
Ish.
right? In Mesa. And immediately my head started flipping through. I have access to every pre-qual in Mesa that we've done, and I bet there's a customer right now shopping for that home that doesn't know that. So immediately as a lender, I was like, I could probably help you because you're in my mastermind.
And mind you, that was mind-boggling to me, because in my 10 years of being in real estate, no one has ever offered that to me.
But that's because we were in a room, and in the room, we're wanting to help each other, right?
Right. It breeds community and connection and collaboration. But I should say, no one has ever offered that to me. So that is value.
Right? So for those of you that are listening, I mean, these are little small frameworks that getting in a room and building a community with people that are like-minded like you can really help you build your business. I mean, one of the things that most people are afraid of, or what would you say? Like, you're new to this mastermind, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so first year in this mastermind, this is my third year in a mastermind. And so when I walk into the room, I feel very comfortable, but I did not feel that way the very first thing. So I think most people listening are like, I am not walking into the room with a bunch of people that I don't know, especially my competition. Why are they wrong in that thought process?
So if you don't I just literally made a post about this today. If you don't put yourself in rooms that make you uncomfortable, you aren't going to grow. Truly. I walked into the mastermind. It was our first one in October, and I was not in a good place. Emotionally, mentally, physically, I just had surgery and I didn't want to go. And it was someone in the mastermind, and she felt the energy, and she called me and she was like, show up. Me showing up into that mastermind led me to meeting Barbara Corcoran, stalking her a little bit. But then I went into this deep, dark depression. And because of this mastermind and because of being surrounded by people that are amazing and that I could learn from, I showed up. One, because I spent the money for the mastermind and I wanted to get the value at it, right? But two, every other Tuesday, I knew I needed to be online, and I knew I needed to post content every day, because when I got better mentally and shifted my mindset, it was going to allow me to press go. And this mastermind and being a part of a group, a community, they don't let you down, and they build you up, and they give you that accountability to go. Don't be scared. Without to pitch yourself.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now tell us your name and what you do and how long you've been doing it.
So I'm Farrell Hogenauer. I am a real estate agent in Scottsdale, and I've been doing it all 10 years in May.
All right, amazing. Now my name's Chris Medellin, and I've been in the lending business for 25 years. And how about you?
My name's Irene Duford, and I have been a coach and a trainer and in the lending business. And what I do is I free up loan officers their time and give them their freedom to be able to scale their business by hiring and training their support staff.
Okay, now think about that, right? Like, so most of you who are listening to this, the hardest thing to do when you start to scale your business is to find somebody. And most people make the mistake of finding somebody who's available, not somebody who's necessarily has a skill set that to do the job. She helps you with that. And this is the most niche thing I've ever heard of anybody starting a business. It's training the loan officer assistant. And today, most loan officers are starting to scale their business and starting to hire and starting to look for who's going to help them do that so that they can buy back their time. She's there to help you. But it was kind of a lot of your decision and your brainchild to say, put some people in Phoenix together to say, hey, I'm going to be the connector of this deal. Let's put a mastermind together. And so tell me a little bit about what you see the vision of this becoming for you and for the people that are listening.
I really want to create a mastermind where people could just come together and share ideas, what's working for them, and what do they need help with. And then we go around the room, and people in the room help each other with what they need help with.
This is amazing. So,
and it's not even about like a coaching or a training. It's more of a collaborative effort. It's really
Definitely.
We all got together before our mastermind. It did a mini mastermind, and that was almost just as powerful as what the head of our mastermind did, right? Getting in a room with like-minded people, brainstorming and talking and learning from one another is so powerful.
And I've done masterminds before, small mastermind.
Okay.
Yours was 10, 20 people. And we start with, what are your wins? We go around the room, what are your wins? And what do you need help with that we can help you here in this group with?
and so if you think about that, right? So I have a market that I work in. It's in Salt Lake City. And I created a mastermind there with one of my branch managers because people didn't know my company out in that market as well as they did other companies. So we're like, what's the best way for people to get to know us, like us, and trust us, was to demonstrate who we were as leaders. And so we put this mastermind together, and we got like $400 million worth of lenders that show up every month to this mastermind. And it's probably the best mastermind I've ever been in. But somebody said in there, what is a mastermind? It's when you could take, one mind and add it to other minds, and you come together to build a mastermind. And you're collectively growing together versus doing it individually. And there's this idea out there that we're always better together than we are separated. And a lot of people are afraid to get in rooms with their competition. But if you're one of those people, that's a scarcity mindset. And there's an abundance mentality that once you start to realize that there is an abundance of business in the Phoenix area, that I would rather get in the room with my competitor than to be on the sidelines wishing that I was a part of something that I'm not. Now, I've hired this year probably 10 people that were brokers before. And the number one reason why we hired them was because they wanted community. They wanted to come to a place where they felt like they could be a part of something. This is why masterminds are probably one of the most important things people can do.
100%.
So if you think about the frameworks that people would gain out of coming to this, the wins, the losses, but we just talked about it right now. Like I would say one entire session could be, how do you get a realtor to take your business? And you can do, here's the 5 things not to do, and here's the 5 things to do. Like that would be like the greatest.
100%.
Like I would love to just see the DMs and the text messages you get like on a slide that are like, don't do this, bro. Like that would be so. What's the craziest thing that somebody's done to try to get your business?
The craziest thing, that's the thing. Nobody's done anything crazy.
Let me tell you how I'll do it.
It's a literally, I
think I can get your business. You don't think I could, but I think I could get your business.
Oh, I think you could totally do that, right? Well, you already are trying, you're already halfway there.
But this is how I would do it. And then I want you to tell a story about the Barbara Corcoran thing, because I think that's
So do you know what is the number one thing of how I gave someone my business?
Tell me.
She showed up. She shows up to my open houses. She brought her kids. Every open house I did for 6 months, she showed up. With her kids.
Question. So this is a very important thing. Did she show up acting like she wanted to buy a house?
No.
She was just spread up like,
She just showed up. Hey, I'm driving around to open houses just to talk to agents. And she
showed up about it.
She became my friend.
Yeah, there you go.
And I knew she's a badass looker.
So there's a guy, his name's Mark. He was a realtor in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area. And we did a meeting. He was like, whatever, and it was during the downturn, like in 2009, whatever, where there's big, we were sitting open houses with no air conditioning because the banks hadn't figured out how to put air conditions in. So it's like 115 degrees. We're putting out the signs. We never got a deal together that way. But to this day, that guy will call me and send me his business because he will never forget that I sat in the house with him.
100%.
When
you made it happen.
There you go. So I think that's what it's about. It's not, I think people approach getting business like trying to get the bottom of the funnel business.
Right.
But if we can work on the top of the funnel stuff that is not hot today, and then that'll get us there. And then I have, I'm a recruiter in what I do every day. So I have to recruit loan officers. I got to cold call them and convince them to come to my company. And that's not fun, right? So that's a hard thing to do. So as much as you hate getting that call, she hates getting the call from somebody wanting to do a coffee meeting when they know they just want to get her business. So Irene, for the person who is out there, who's struggling with their business, what do you bring to the table to help them like scale their business?
So I help them hire the right person. Most loan officers, they don't want to hire because they're afraid to hire the wrong person.
Yeah.
So I go deep with them and help them hire the right person, the right loan partner, the person that they're looking for that's important to them with the right skills and the right mindset and the right qualities that they want. And a lot of loan officers don't take time to really go deep to find the right person, and then they wonder why it doesn't work.
I mean, a lot of realtors don't either, just saying.
Well, I'll tell you this too, like, so because I work with hundreds of loan officers, the number one reason loan officers will tell me they're leaving their company is because they don't like their process. And I'm like, well, what's your process? And none of them have it on paper. And for me, I would have it on paper. I would have, this is the Chris process. So if you want to process for me or you want to work my business, these are the steps. And if you can't do these steps, we're never going to work. But years and years of business, people don't have this. And then they're surprised when their processor doesn't do what they want them to do. But these are the ideas that you can take away from coming to a mastermind. Now, I want to leave you with this one thing. This is a really amazing story. So we get in a room and Neil says, who has a dream of something that they want to get done in their business, or who has this one thing that they do? And you were one of the first to stand up and you said, I would love to meet Barbara Corcoran, right? What happened after that?
This is literally a crazy story. So I say that, I put myself out there. Mind you, I was like a wallflower. I felt like this little fish in a big sea of sharks. And I was like, what the hell am I doing here? So I put it out there, and then all of these people were like, we can help you. This one gentleman is like, she's speaking at this event. In 3 weeks, you need to come. That's it. Then someone offered me a hotel room. Someone offered me like airfare, which I did not take. I flew myself out there. Like all these people were offering, like clamoring to help me make this happen because it could. So I go home. It is a Sunday night. And I'm scrolling on Instagram. It's 11 o'clock at night. And because Instagram always listens, on my story is Barbara Corcoran. She just landed in Scottsdale. And I was like, what? You might not know this.
I did not know this. I didn't know half of the story.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Yeah.
And so I was like, she was going to this marketing event, which mind you, it had nothing to do with real estate or lending. It was the most amazing event that I've ever been to. It was like $400 to go to the event. And I went to my husband and I'm like, do I go to this? And he's like, yeah, go. Like, see what you can do. I ended up finding a free ticket online. Kismet. Show up at the event. Sit at a front row table. And I knew Barbara was coming on stage. And I'm like, I just had a hysterectomy like 6 weeks before. And if you're a female, if you have to go back, go pee. Anyway, so I went into the bathroom and I'm literally, I have to say this, midstream. And I hear her voice in the bathroom.
What was she saying?
She was talking to like the handler,
the
head of the conference.
Okay, yeah.
And they were helping her like get herself together.
Yeah. Okay, this is great. Yeah.
So I'm like, holy shit, she's knackered.
This is your shot.
This is my shot.
Yeah.
So I go out and I looked at her and I was like, this is crazy. I'm supposed to be here right now to meet you. And she's looking at me like I'm nuts. And I'm like, I'm literally flying to Nashville to hear you speak at a lender conference. And I'm a realtor and I have no business being there just to meet you. Like it's being arranged. She's like, what? And I'm like, this is kismet. This is kismet. And I'm like, can I have 5 minutes of your time? She's like, the lady was like, no, she has to get on stage.
Yeah.
I was like, fine. And I was like, so then she said, this is my person, Emily. Email her. Tell her who you are, and I will remember you. And I said, great. I was on a total high, and I was like,
Lady in the restroom. Was that the subject line? Lady in the restroom.
Right. No, just wait, because that is how, hold on, we're getting there. We are getting there.
This is a great stitch.
So,
I'm like, you know what? I didn't tell her my name. She doesn't know I'm a real estate agent. Like, okay. So I wait for her to leave because I knew she was leaving right after to get on her plane to go home. So I'm waiting at the entrance to the hotel. And I see her walk out and I'm like, Barbara, I swear I'm not a stalker. And she goes, I know you're not a stalker. I'm like, here's my business card. I am a real estate agent in Scottsdale. I'm excited to talk to you. And I gave her my card. I went on my merry way.
You didn't ask for anything.
I didn't ask for any of you. So I email our handler, can I have 5 minutes of Barbara's time? I just want to talk to her. No. Can I have, I need, please. I'm a real estate agent. She can help me scale. I'm going through a hard time. Like, I really resonate with things. I just want to talk to her for like 5 minutes. She doesn't have time. So I decided to fly to Nashville. I wasn't going to go to Nashville. I decided to go to Nashville. There were things in motion that might not have worked, that I wasn't going to meet her. And I texted the gentleman who gave me the opportunity. And I said, look, I flew all the way here to meet Barbara Corcoran. If we can make this happen, that's amazing. And if we can't, that's okay. But I'm here. He goes, meet me in the ballroom downstairs. So I go downstairs that she's doing a podcast for the session or whatever. And they have me waiting to the side. And Emily, her handler, is sitting here. And she's like, you are one of the most persistent people I have ever met in my life. Because I emailed her literally 6 weeks. And I said, I'm not sorry. She was in there. So then the gentleman, I'm so cold.
I think she did get away with stalking by saying I'm not a stalker.
No, I know, right? So truly. So the gentleman who arranged all of this from our mastermind, he made it all happen, introduced me as how this all transpired in our mastermind and all the things. And she goes, oh my God, I met her in the bathroom at Scottsdale. It's the real estate agent. And she looked to the side and I was like, she was like, I was so rude to you. And I'm like, no, you were so nice. She spent 15 minutes with me, which was great. I needed that in that moment. Like, I'm going to cry because life sucked. Life really sucked. And life did continue to suck for a few months for me. But I have that in my back pocket, and people are like, holy cow, you made something happen. You climbed a mountain and you did it. And being a part of this mastermind had me have that interaction. And then it kept me going for me to get to where I am today. And this has all been within 6 months.
Oh, that's 6 months.
All within 6 months. Like, it's been a game changer. And now it's to the point where I have a business idea that's a brick and mortar. There's nothing to do with real estate that I am going to freaking rock out. Now my new ask is Sarah Blakely. So if anybody knows Sarah Blakely,
There you go. But
I would like to meet
You
her.
believe now, right? Your brain breathes that if you put it out to the world, you get it. So, Sarah, if you're watching this,
Right?
and you could be, reach out.
Yeah.
But so this is the power of
Mastermind.
right?
People.
and why getting people together. And so I actually walking into this, guys, what you don't realize is that I'm about to get kicked out of my room any second now because we all got to fly out of here. But we decided to do this because we thought it would be so important for you to know that we're doing a mastermind. And this story is reason enough for you to say, I'm worthy of being in the room. Now, let me ask you this. This is super important. When you came into the room in the mastermind, it's easy to feel lost. It's easy to feel like I'm not worthy to be in the room. I don't know if you ever feel like that, but I do remember when you said, I would like to meet Barbara.
I remember too.
And they pushed you a little bit, like, why you want to meet Barbara? And you were like, I don't know. I just need to meet her.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at your face and I didn't believe that you believed that you would meet Barbara. But the room believed that you were going to meet Barbara. I believed you were going to meet, and I watched it happen. And I remember one of the guys came up and said, wait, aren't you going to be speaking? He told Neil, aren't you going to be speaking at the same place that she's going to be speaking at? And like John, I think, put it together, and then it was happening. It became, and we hear that now there you are.
Like, it literally was like, what the, like, yeah, what?
So if you want an opportunity to be in a room where somebody could help you connect with the person that you always wanted to connect with, then this is the room that you got to be in.
You know what? Even if you just want an opportunity to scale or do whatever, you just need to ask a question that you're afraid to ask. Like, it is a safe space. You need people to be able to go and just ask the question. That is the one thing that I've learned in this mastermind. I mean, I've learned many, but the one major thing is always ask, because the worst answer you can get is no. Yes.
Can I get a shot of your business?
Oh, I am Rebel Real Estate.
No. Can I get a shot of your business?
The place said, no.
I don't originate, but I want your business somewhere.
Can you get the bar from my list?
So on. Did you see what she just said? Get some bar. Okay, so this is great. So Irene, you putting this together and pushing us behind the scenes to get in a room and doing this is invaluable. And I don't know that you realize the power that you have when you walk into rooms and the light you bring to it. So thank you. I really appreciate you putting this together. Who are you looking? Who's your target audience for this? Like, who should be in this ring?
The people that should be in this room are loan officers.
Okay.
Loan officers, branch managers, anybody in the mortgage business.
But they got to have some level of business. We don't want scouts, right?
Yeah.
What do we say? What do we say that
Maybe
I want to like I say.
I don't know. What do you
If they need it, they don't need an assistant for 2 or 3.
No.
Okay, so they need an assistant at what? Like, where's the breaking?
But are we going to stop them from coming if they're thinking of what we were
Yes,
talking
we are
about
stopping
before?
them for coming. You cannot come unless.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should, in my opinion, because look, here's the truth of it. In order to get people to want to come to a room, I got to be in a room next to people who are hustlers, who are in that space where they have enough business.
Yeah.
And we have to make this super exclusive. And guys, we're literally building this as we talk, right?
Yeah,
So I
we
say we make it exclusive. I say we pull the influencers. I think if you can get an invite to this, and if you think you should be in this room, then reach out to Irene. And Irene's information will be in this, but I think we build it out with people who are no less than 10 million a year. I think that's a low number, but I think that's your perfect number for when I need. As I've done this over and over, I'm knocking on loan officers' doors that work for me when they're about 6 to 8 million saying, if you want to scale this, you need somebody on your team. And that person is saying, I don't even know the first thing to do to hire somebody. That's where you come in. That's where. So I think if we want to help people scale, they got to be at 10 million. What are your thoughts on
I say 8.
8? Then let's go 8. If you're 8 or higher, we want you in this room.
Yes.
All right.
That's exactly right.
You guys good with that?
Yes.
All right. More to come. Right now, we're getting the invite list together. How many people do we want in the room?
No more than 30. Is that what we call
No more than 30.
No more than 30.
You could be one of 30. DM us if you're interested, and we will send you all the information.